There we go. Okay, well, welcome. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and get started then. So welcome. My name is Tanya. I'm going to change my name so that it will not say Keep Durham Beautiful in the recording. Um, and yeah, if we can just go around the room and take turns introducing ourselves and say which garden you're with. We can start with Jackie.
Hi, my name is Jackie McLeod, and I'm with Bull City Commons, which is a co-housing, an urban co-housing community here in Durham, in Old West Durham.
Let's see. Alex,
Hi, yeah, my name is Alex Zavala and I'm with the Green Space at El Futuro.
thank you. And Mary,
Hi, I'm Mary Kaufman, and I'm with El Futuro as well, supporting Alex.
thank you. And Barbara and Don.
Hi, Barbara Thornberry here,
Don Thornberry.
and we're helping with the Bull City Commons garden tour with Jackie.
Great. And Joan?
Me? I'm
Uh,
sorry.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Doug.
Um, Doug Young here. We're on Vista Street.
Awesome. And let's see. Uh, Joan disappeared. How about Jenny?
Hi, Jenny Peters, and my garden is located. We don't really have a neighborhood name, but we're near Motorco, uh, near Gear Street and North. Mhm.
Thank you. Let's see. Who else? Amy. Hi.
Hi, I'm Amy. My garden is on East Maynard Avenue in Colonial Village.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone? Who's on the phone? I see a phone number.
Hey, that's Michelle Ketchum. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to log in the other way, but it just kept saying waiting. So,
Oh, weird.
but is there going to be a like presentation or something that I would need to see? Because I can.
Um, there we may show, I'm going to show the program, but I'm also going to send a link to it. So I think you could pull it up
Okay.
that way. Yeah, so that should be fine.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yes.
I
And
think
somebody
you
said
And
they
are
missed
we
just,
just?
Joanne. Yeah.
Joanne, I'm here.
oh, there you are. Oh, you go with go by Joanne. I'm sorry. I've
Yeah.
been calling you Joan all this time.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fine.
Thank you for correcting that. Joanne, please go.
Okay, Joanne Barber, and I'm representing the Extension Demonstration Garden down at 721 Foster Street as a master gardener.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm sorry, my squares
Jackie,
got
our
all rearranged and I
gardeners.
got confused. Okay, so well, let me just jump right in. I am going to just cover a few things that I think might be helpful for you to know in preparation for the tour, and then I'll take your questions and suggestions, and just with the goal of making it as, easy as possible for you, because you all are putting a lot of effort into making your gardens amazing. They already are amazing. And so we want to make everything else as non-stressful as possible for you. So I guess the first thing that I will do is just share the program, which just got finalized on Friday. So let me just share my screen for a moment. And also, let me grab the link. So if anybody is not looking at their screen, sorry, I do have a link for it. Oh yeah, Dawn is joining us too. Okay, yay. Um, okay, here is the link for the garden tour program. Now I need to find the chat. There it is. Okay. Okay. I popped that into the chat, so if you want to open it, save it to your computer or if you can't see the screen. And then I will share. Okay. Screen. Okay, so here is the program. This is Doug's garden, so that's exciting from 2 years ago. And so we've just got the table of contents here, and then the map, and then I've got a little bit of information about Keep Durham Beautiful, some tips for the garden participants, and then. And we tried to have the ads interspersed with either garden information or other meaningful content so that the sponsors would have good visibility. And last time when we did this call, I think everybody found it kind of interesting to share a little bit more about their gardens. So if not everybody is here, but if we get to your page and you'd like to say some words more about kind of the crux of what your garden is all about, that could be fun to share. So I don't think we have Dave or Sally on right now. Amy, would you like to share a little bit about your garden?
Unmute. Hi. I don't know. I really love gardening. I don't know what's in here because I haven't read it yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay, so this is in Colonial Village, and we actually have 3 gardens in Colonial Village, which is nice, or in that area, up in this area. So then let's see. The next one that we have is Faraway Micro Farm. I don't think we have somebody from that garden either.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you are here. You are.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was just a
Oh,
little
Amanda,
late.
that's right. You just came in, so you didn't
Yeah.
get to introduce yourself. Go ahead and just introduce yourself and yeah, just say, a few words about sort of what you're going for with your garden and what you think will be interesting for the people on the tour.
Sure. I'm Amanda, and I don't know, my garden's just like a labor of love of the past like 10 years. And then in February, I decided to leave my job as creative director at Counterculture to try to start my own farm. So this is like basically my mini experiment while I work on another farm and get some official training. But I'm like trying to do a mini farm at my house right now. So I built a little farm stand and people are buying like eggs and flowers and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully people find that interesting.
Yeah, that sounds extremely interesting. Thanks. Garden on Vista.
Hi, well, this is Doug. And we bought this property 26 years ago with no idea we were going to do anything like what has happened. We hired Grace Palafian early on to help design a kitchen patio and kept her until she finally retired. And we seem to be plant collectors. So it's a wide variety of native and non-native in Duke Park, and with a certain amount of topography. So we have what was probably a small creek running through the side yard, and is now just a valley. It only occasionally turns into a creek during hurricanes. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff right now. The azaleas are mostly done, but there are always something coming along.
Thank you. I know it's kind of hard to see like the azaleas and dogwoods and everything that's so classic North Carolina come and go, but I kind of feel like a lot of people can do that kind of garden, and what you all do is way more special than than the showy azaleas. So it's hard to figure out the right time for the tour, but hopefully this will be a good time for everyone.
So I'm hoping that the lady slipper will rejoin us.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah. Okay, Bull City Commons.
Yeah. So we have been in this building for 4 years now, and our yard is to the side of our building is basically how this five-story building was built. And you could just imagine with all the heavy machinery going over that, and they put lots and lots of gravel and crush and run and all sorts of things down and kept driving over it whilst they were building this building over 2 years. And so we got some help in the beginning from Piedmont Environmental Landscape to help us put a bit more nutrition into the yard. And then we worked on a plan that we had sort of devised with him. And our aim, and we are there, is to be 75% native plants. And then, people brought some things from their home. So co-housing is a bunch of us individuals. We all live together in the building and we manage it and we built it all together. But we all have our own units. So people brought their favorites and they're not always native, but they're very beautiful. So we'd like to share it just to show there's 27 of us in this building, and not everybody works in the garden, but what you can achieve in a relatively short amount of time when a bunch of people get together to do something. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, all these gardens, those that I've seen, a month or two ago, it'll be fun to see again. The extension demonstration garden.
Okay, with the extension demonstration garden, we started redesigning. We had a garden for a while, but we decided to redo the entire garden starting in 2019. So we've really accomplished a lot. Everything that you see on the screen, we still have it. We've become a certified bird-friendly habitat, and we just became a certified wildlife habitat. But with our strategic plan that we have worked through the point of having, we started off with two center beds where we had a mixture of perennials, native and non-native, but we've tried to maintain 70% natives. But and then we had a shady bed where we had plants for the shade, and then we have a sunny bed for different plants. But we had to remove our crabapple tree, so we decided this year, we just finished planting, and it has turned out so nice, a new native perennial bed. It had all native plants, all perennials. So they are scheduled to bring all bloom spring, summer, and fall. So with the timing of the Durham garden tour, some have just finished blooming, and we have new ones that's coming in. I guess when people come through, we'll remind them what was blooming earlier. And then we just finished a new foundation bed. So from the educational aspect, we can talk about plants that you would put in a foundation bed.
Excellent. Thank you. And Peter's Oats Garden.
That's me. So, as you can see, it's a really small property. It's about 5,000 square feet. Again, I'm on North Street in between Corporation and Gear. I bought the house when it was new construction in 2013. And at that point in time, it was literally a blank slate. There are mature trees. There are three large pin oaks in the front yard and a couple mature trees in the backyard. So I've been experimenting with part sun, part shade. And I do almost all of the work myself. It's kind of how I work from home, and it's how I get out of my office, out of my desk. And the only work that I've had done professionally, we have dry streams in both the front and the backyard. Water was a huge problem. And instead of fighting it, we put dry streams where the water would run when we would get a heavy rain. So I have a rain garden in the backyard as well. And those are some of the key features to look for. I don't, it's funny to hear people talk about goals with percent native. I try to plant native when I can. I have a mix of both. I don't know the percentages though. That's something I'll have to see if I can figure out. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks. Let's see. We have a lot of great sponsors this year. Plaza Futuro.
Hi,
Alex. Oh, there you
sorry.
go. Oh, there.
Yes. No, thank you. We're so excited to be helping with the tickets and everything. And I think that's something that really highlights Plaza El Futuro. It's the way that it's so accessible for neighborhoods, people who work there. Like people come all the time from Full Lion, from Lincoln Center, and they just exist. Yeah, I think that that's something that really highlights the green space for me.
Thank you. Yeah, if you haven't been to this space, it is definitely a gem in the middle of a shopping center. So definitely worth visiting. And this will be the main point where we'll be selling tickets during the tour. And this will be one of two places where we're distributing programs. We'll be distributing programs at El Futuro or Plaza Futuro and also at the uh, cooperative extension office at the demonstration garden there. So we'll be sending out a message to all of the people who have purchased tickets so far and anyone who purchases tickets after that about where they can pick up their programs. We'll also have programs distributed from our office at Keep Durham Beautiful in the week before. We hope that they will be arriving by this Friday. So all of next week, we should be able to distribute programs. Let's see. Number 9, Lakewood Elementary. I don't think we have anyone from there yet. And Clay Hill Gardens. I don't think we have anyone from there with us. And last one, South Durham Retreat.
Hey, that's me. This is Michelle.
Oh, hi, Michelle.
Sorry, I didn't say my address earlier. I was
Oh, you're
trying to
fine.
confirm if I needed to be on a screen. But yeah, I have been at my house for about 10 years now, and I have a 1950s home on kind of a busier street on Old Chapel Hill Road, and it's on about a half an acre lot though. So I've done all of the gardening myself, as far as design and almost all of the planting. Had different hardscapes and patios and things done professionally. I think some key features about my house are, well, we have a pool, which is nice, and I've got a lot of garden around it. And we added on to the house. They finished about this time last year, and we have a little courtyard kind of between the addition and the existing home that has a water feature. And the other thing too is we have 2 large oak trees in our front yard. And once we finished that addition, we had lawn in the front yard, but now the entire front area, I mean, a lot of it has the addition on it, but around that is all plant. So it's no grass at all in the front yard, and just some in the backyard because we have small kids that like to run around. But when I redid the front yard too, I really did try to go for as much native as I could. There are still some things that I just wanted, but nothing invasive. So, but yeah, that was the kind of the goal for the front yard, was to just try to get it 100 or like 80%, 75% native there. There was compaction with the soil with the construction too. So I've been really, really, really happy with the choices that I made, because the native plants have actually done well despite construction and the soil there. So I think that's it. I mean, like I have kids, and so I have like a little butterfly garden. We always try to plant milkweed and fennel. So I don't know if there will be caterpillars during the tour or not, but it's something that my kids really like. So that's another piece of the gardening, is just making it fun for the kids, like we were out here yesterday and just noticed a cardinal nest in a bush, and so we have a lot of wildlife in the yard too, considering it's in a suburban area and on a busy street. We have hawks and deer and raccoons and all kinds of birds and insects. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about my garden.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for sharing. And then we do have our sponsors listed. And definitely, if you know or encounter any of them, thank them for supporting the tour and Keep Durham Beautiful. And also, we are already collecting nominations for next year. And then sort of new this year, we're going to have a passport, which is on the back page. So we'll have stamps at each of the entrance spots. So it'll be kind of fun, for people to get their program stamped, so they can see where they've been. So I think that is it for the program. And we will be sending that to all of the ticket holders so far. So they'll have that to get started with planning their day or days. So let's see. Our website, I think, it's pretty self-explanatory. I do hope to add the list of plants. Like, I think some of you have sent a more extensive list of plants than what is in the program, or at least if you haven't, you are welcome to, and we can add that in because then, people can know even more what to expect. I think I do have a link to the plant list from last year. If you want to see what that looked like, to give you some ideas of what you could send or the value of it. Was there a question?
I'm sorry. And yeah, because I'm calling into I don't see the chat or anything like that.
Yeah,
so is that
that's
something
fine.
that you could send after? Okay.
Yes,
All right.
yeah,
That's why
I
I
can
also can't
send.
raise my hand.
Yeah, I can send all of this
Anything.
after, of course. Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
and yeah, I did put them in the chat, but I will definitely send them. In fact, I'm pulling them out of a letter that I'm going to send to you also, which has some of the content from the email that I sent before, but it will have some additional content as well.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, and then also that the website, it's durhamgardentour.org. That's where people can purchase tickets, and I'm typing that in too. And the early bird deadline, we extended it until Wednesday at midnight, basically. So if you know anybody who's still thinking of wanting to get tickets, that would be a great time to do it. But they'll be able to get them even up to and on the tour days. So let's see.
Tanya, the link to the featured plant list from 2025, it's not working.
Oh, it's not working. Okay.
It says we couldn't find this one.
Okay. All right. Well, I will have to find it later and I'll send it to you
Okay.
to give you an idea of it. Thank you for letting me know. And we're doing great with volunteers. I think I didn't check today, but as of like the end of last week, I think we only had 30 spots left out of 132. So, okay, even less than that. So if somebody wanted to volunteer, they should sign up soon. And I did check today. We've sold 168 tickets so far. So that's awesome. My goal is to sell 500 tickets. So we sold, I think, 360 last year. So yeah, we're doing great. So thank you all so much for making it possible. And let's see. So for preparing for the tour, I did list some of this in the email that I sent to you, but you'll have volunteers at your site. So we have 3 shifts each day. So each shift is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. And the first one starts a half an hour before the tour, so at 9:30. And I think the last one ends maybe at 3:15. I can't remember exactly, but just to help with tidying up. And there's a half an hour overlap with each. So one shift ends a half an hour after the next shift begins, so that there's a little bit of overlap, so they can relay information to one another. The new volunteers coming, could take time to come find you if you happen to be there. You can look at when the shift changes are, and if you want to convey any information directly, you can look for those new volunteers. But you could also just make a list of instructions that you want them to convey to the visitors, and then, they can just pass that along from one person to the next. So since we'll have 2 volunteers at each site, we'll have one person at whatever the front entrance is deemed to be, where most people are likely to be entering the garden, and that's where they'll be checking the program. And we're not like super strict if somebody says, oh, whatever, I left it in the car. Like, we trust people, but it is just something, to make it fun and just to check people in. The volunteers will not need to check for people's names. The only time that people's names will get checked is when they're picking up their program. So that'll be, the first time they pick up the program, to confirm that they have a ticket at that time. But you won't need to worry about that kind of thing, but it might be just of interest to you to know how we're doing it. And as I mentioned, we'll have stamps this year. And let's see. So you're welcome to have handouts or sign-up sheets or, anything promoting something that you sell or something that your, contractors or people you've worked with sell. But we're just asking you not to do any sales during the tour because that can be disruptive and distracting from the purpose of the tour. But you're welcome to, have any promotional materials around that you would like to. You may want to make a note of anything like that people should beware of, like, a weird, an unusual step, or, I mean, people know that it's going to be uneven surfaces, so you don't have to, if the whole thing is uneven, you don't have to mark up everything. But if just something is unexpected, you might want to note that somehow, either for the volunteers or flag it in some way to bring people's attention to it. You might want to provide a little history of your garden, just, a written paragraph that you leave for the volunteers to read so that they can convey that sort of thing to make it a more meaningful experience to the visitors. And then it's definitely not required, but you may want to label some of the plants that you think people will be curious about, that are perhaps less common, or, special variety or anything like that. And then we did get some invasive plant flagging tape. So if anybody has invasive plants that they are wanting to be removing but haven't gotten around to it yet, we can provide you some of that tape, and you can like tie it up, just put a little flag on it. It's the same tape that the New Hope Bird Alliance uses when they do their garden assessments for bird-friendly habitat. Because we are trying to make this an educational experience for everyone as well. And yeah, we're definitely not a 100% native garden tour, but we, do, advocate for at least not having invasive plants or being in the process of trying to remove them. I know I am trying to remove them in my own yard. So, okay, and then back to some more logistics. So the volunteers will be some volunteer will be sitting at the front area. So we want to provide them with some sort of table and chair and shade. And so we have a number of those things that we can bring to your site. But if you happen to have it, that is extra handy if you're willing to like just put it out there for them. So I'm going to send you a survey that will ask questions like that. And so you can just mark that down on the survey, and then we'll know whether we need to bring those items to you on Saturday morning, or whether you'll have them set up. And shade could be anything from like an umbrella or a good sturdy tree, or, a front porch. So really whatever, just anything that helps to reduce the sun. And let's see what else. I think we've put everything in the program in terms of parking that you had provided, but we do have quite a few cones, like those orange cones. So if there's anything that you want to block off, like if I know some of our gardens have interest right in the front where someone could park, so maybe we could block off, the parking right in front of the garden. So just let us know if you want that kind of thing. And also we have a laminator and a printer. So if there's anything that you want to have printed or laminated in advance, if you could get that to us, a couple days before the tour, we can prepare that for you. Not required at all, but some people like to share all the details and some people just want to make it a self-led experience. So it's entirely your call. Let me see what else we have on our list to talk about. So Saturday morning, probably not before 8, probably not before 8:30, but maybe starting around 8:30. We'll be driving around and dropping off, the tables, chairs, and tents as needed, and the stamps and instructions for the volunteers and a bag of snacks and a cooler. And I'm trying to, and also a flag. We may come the day before or we may come do it that Saturday morning, but it'll be a flag on a bamboo pole that just helps bring more attention to the place where people are supposed to enter. And sometime soon this week, a sign should be getting delivered to your yard, also to the front. And that'll be like a yard sign on a wire hanger or like a wire post. What else? Oh, and then we will also bring you your programs. So as hosts, you obviously get complimentary entrance to the tour. So our standard will be to bring you 2, but if you tell us that you need more than that, that's fine. Just let us know how many you need for, the people who are sort of intimately involved with your garden. And we can get those to you. And we may also provide programs for the first couple of volunteers, like for the ones who are showing up first thing on that Saturday morning. They won't have a chance to go anywhere before that. So we'll have their names on them if they are for them. And let's see. I'll also be asking you for like the mobile phone numbers of, like, I know we have the contact information for the person who submitted the nomination, but also if you have another person at your residence or place that should be a point of contact, just in case, in the event of an emergency or anything, that we could just, reach someone, have a more opportunity to reach someone. And that is sort of out of order, that comment, but we'll also be coming around to collect all of those items that I mentioned on Sunday afternoon. And we'll also come Sunday morning with more ice and to refresh the cooler and snacks. So if you just want to, either if you want to pull them in on Saturday night and then set them back out again on Sunday morning, that would be fine. Or if they're in a protected place, you can just leave them sitting out and we'll come and refresh those. We'll also send you the volunteer schedule so you'll know when the shifts change and who the volunteers are supposed to be with their contact information. And Dawn and I, you'll have the mobile phone numbers for me and Dawn. And, if you're not responsible for telling whether somebody doesn't show up, but if the volunteer whose shift is ending, if nobody's showing up to replace them, they'll know. They'll have the instructions to reach us so that we can get a replacement if there's any problem with volunteers. You're welcome to call us too, but I don't want you to feel like you're responsible for that. You're welcome to be there as much or as little as you want to be. It's really your preference. We've had some garden hosts who were just not even there the entire day, and that was totally fine. But we've also had some who were actually in the garden doing, weeding or anything else they wanted to be doing and just chatting. So it's your call. And then last year we did have a number of garden hosts who just felt like they couldn't get away to visit the other gardens during the tour, and they wanted to go on a separate tour and find a time to do that. And so they did. I think it was just the weekend afterwards, and they actually drove around together. And I didn't get to go on it, but I think they found it really meaningful. So if any of you would like to do that, I'd be happy to coordinate that. I can't guarantee I will go on it, but I can definitely, coordinate, with picking the date and time And some of the gardens weren't able to actually participate, but then they said, oh, sure, they can just come walk around or whatever, or some just didn't participate at all. So totally your call. So that'll be a question in the survey that I send you that you can respond to. And I think that comes to the end of my list of topics. Does anybody have questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
I was just thinking, like, what if somebody gets hurt on your
Oh,
property? Is
yeah,
it something like we should, well, and
yeah.
I'm kind of going like a
No,
step further of like getting sued. Like, should we contact like our like homeowners insurance to say that we're doing something like this, or like just say that
Keep
something
Durham
like that
Beautiful
happened?
does have coverage that covers this. So
Okay.
they would be covered by Keep Durham Beautiful. Um, you could. I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt to contact them, but we do have accident and liability insurance, and we have an incident report form that we will share with you, and we'll also share again, like, the volunteers are going to be instructed in what to do in this case, so they should be the ones handling it, but if you're there, you're certainly welcome to help if that happens. And yeah, so I definitely will be covering that with a volunteer instruction call and in their written instructions too. So, and I don't have the volunteer instructions prepared yet for this year, but once I do, I'll send that to all of you so you just know like what they're being instructed on also. So that'll just give you more perspective. Does that,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, like that's such a crappy question to
No,
ask,
no,
like,
I'm
but I
glad
was
I
just
meant to
thinking about
actually.
it because I have a lot of like, I know you mentioned uneven steps, and
Mhm.
I'm just thinking like stuff
Yeah,
like that. So yeah,
exactly.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, absolutely. Um, and let's see, Jackie, you had a question.
Yeah, that's probably in the volunteer orientation thingy you're going to send us, but I'm not quite clear on the programming, the tickets and
Mhm.
that. And I know you said we don't really have to get involved in that, but I think it helps to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone who has pre-purchased a ticket um, will need to pick up a program, and the program serves as their ticket. And
Okay.
so they'll be able to pick up the ticket from our office any day next week, the week before the tour, starting Monday through Friday. Um, and then on the days of the tour, starting Saturday morning, they'll be able to pick it up at either El Futuro or at the Cooperative Extension Office. So they'll just have to start, if they haven't picked it up in advance, they'll have to start at one of those places. But if they've already picked up their program, then they can start at any place.
And then the two tickets that we are getting for our garden, we already have identified who we want to give them to. When will they be arriving?
Yes, so they'll also be the programs. So they will be available starting, if you want to get them in advance, they will be available any day next week. But if
Okay,
you can wait until Saturday morning, then we'll drop them off for you on
brilliant.
Saturday morning
Thank you so
between
much.
like 8:30 and 9:30. You're welcome. Uh, Amy?
I have two questions. I don't have shade, so you're gonna have to drop off a tent.
Okay.
Will the first shift of volunteers get there early enough to set the tent up for me? So I have more.
Yeah. Yes, I'm hoping that we'll coordinate for the volunteers who come to bring that. We'll set that up for you.
Uh, Second question, can I request a certain number of do not enter signs to put on like places where people should not keep walking?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You and I can talk about what, like size and that kind of thing. I'll just like text or email you about it. Okay, thanks, Amy. Anybody else have a question? Dawn, do you have anything that you want to share? Or are you, oh, there you are.
No, not really. Just thank you all so much, and looking forward to working with you on this.
Yeah, Dawn is amazing, and she is the the cog that fuels all of Keep Durham Beautiful. So she'll be arranging the volunteers for all of the sites. So, and some people probably are friends of yours and they will have requested your garden. So she'll make sure that they get in the right places. Okay, well, I am available and Dawn is available. Just reach out if you do think of anything else that we haven't addressed on this call. And I'll be following up with a summary, also the recording, and then those volunteer instructions. And I'll probably also send you the instructions for, hey Doug, I see you.
Yeah.
I'll also send the instructions that we send to the ticket holders. So that'll explain more how they get their tickets, our programs, basically. Yes, Doug?
Yeah, all I wanted to say was we were on the very first
Yes.
tour, and it's really a lot of fun. We never got away from our yard. Showing people around was just a kick, and people are so nice and interested. So
Yeah. You were one of the gardeners who was just gardening the whole time, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. It's you all make it happen. So, it's fun to showcase all your hard work and yeah, share the passion for gardening with all of our fellow gardeners.
And I agree with Doug. It's really a nice thing to have all the community members come together, and you get to not only chat with them, you learn a lot from them too.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time today, and we will see you in a week and a half.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Bye,
Thank you.
thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.